Greetings and blessings to you out there, my beautiful friends. We are here doing the lessons of A Course in Miracles, and today we're going to be going over lesson 16. I have no neutral thoughts. Oh boy. The idea for today is a beginning step in dispelling the belief that your thoughts have no effect. Everything you see is the result of your thoughts. There is no exception to this fact. Thoughts are not big or little, powerful or weak. They are merely true or false. Those that are true create their own likeness. Those that are false make theirs. I just think that's so powerful, and it's worth studying again and again. Our thoughts are not big or little. They're not powerful or weak. They're either true or false. Just makes it very clean, very, very easy to understand until you start to go into your mind and all of the resistance to that idea comes up, as it did for me when I was reviewing the lesson before turning the camera on. Anyway, back to the course. There is no more self-contradictory concept than that of quote-unquote idle thoughts. What gives rise to the perception of a whole world can hardly be called idle. Every thought you have contributes to truth or to illusion. Either it extends the truth or it multiplies illusions. Another great point. You can indeed multiply nothing, but you will not extend it by doing so. Besides your recognizing that thoughts are never idle, salvation requires that you also recognize that every thought you have brings either peace or war, either love or fear. A neutral result is impossible because a neutral thought is impossible. There is such a temptation to dismiss fear thoughts as unimportant, trivial, and not worth bothering about that it is essential you recognize them as equally destructive but equally unreal. We will practice this idea in many forms before you really understand it. In applying the idea for today, search your mind for a minute or so with eyes closed and actively seeking not to overlook any little thought that may tend to elude your search. This is quite difficult until you get used to it. You will find that it is still hard for you not to make artificial distinctions. Every thought that occurs to you, regardless of the qualities that you assign to it, is a suitable subject for applying today's idea. In the practice periods, first repeat the idea to yourself, and then as each one crosses your mind, hold it in awareness while you tell yourself. Now I'm going to add some stuff in the blanks for you. This thought about my previous relationship partners is not a neutral thought. That thought about my womb is not connected to my heart is not a neutral thought. As usual, use today's idea whenever you are aware of a particular thought that arouses uneasiness. The following form is suggested for this purpose. This thought about the true power of being a woman is not a neutral thought because I have no neutral thoughts. 4 or 5 practice periods are recommended if you find them relatively effortless. If strain is experienced, 3 will be enough. The length of the exercise period should also be reduced if there is discomfort. Okay, so just to give you a little window into my mind, I'm thinking about these things because I started reading this book last night, Womb Wisdom, Awakening the Creative and Forgotten Powers of the Feminine. So I read the preface, the introduction, and chapter 1. And obviously, I'd read it before I went to bed last night. So obviously, things about my sexual self and all these ideas and memories are coming up for me because of that, I believe. So anyway, whatever's coming up for you, the thing that you woke up this morning with, or whenever you're watching this video, the thing that's on your mind right now, add that into this statement. And I love don't reduce any thoughts to that's a little one or that's a powerful big one. I mean, I definitely have a lot more swirling around, but I just chose 3 examples that are really, right there on the surface of my mind for me. The other thing that's always on the surface of my mind for me usually has something to do with food, like really paying attention to what I'm eating and wondering like, how is my body digesting it and things like that. So that's me. That's like a glimpse into my life. what's happening, what's coming up for me. But for you, it could be any number of things. So anything that's bothering you a little bit or a lot, it fits in this exercise. And what we're learning about the creative nature of our thoughts, I think, is so profound. And the fact that everything that we see on the outside of ourselves is a reflection of what we're ruminating about or fantasizing about or just kind of consumed with. We see some reflection of it out in front of us. We project onto the people around us those things about ourselves that we don't necessarily like, or the judgments that come up somewhere is a mirror reflection of us. And so when we talk about not having neutral thoughts, I really take that very seriously. And it's funny, a statement that we've heard, most of us, growing up in the West, is about the idle thoughts being the devil's playground or something. So it's good to know that we don't have any idle thoughts. We have either true or false thoughts. That kind of clears that whole fear about not being in control of your mind. Whenever I heard that idle thought statement, that's what I used to think, is something else is coming into my mind and taking over and all of that, the devil's playground. But now I realize that I'm creating all of my thoughts, and they're either true or false. And that really helps me feel more empowered. And I hope that it helps you feel that way too. So I would love to know what you're reading or what you're interested in. If whatever you're studying right now shows up in your lessons, that would be really cool to know. The other thing is I decided that January 30th will be the day that we do our Zoom. And I'll go ahead and set it up and put a link in this video, and I'll keep posting the link to connect. I think that would be great for us to be able to see each other, introduce ourselves, and start to create a community with the folks that are on this channel. So thanks so much for being with me today. We're doing lesson 16. I'm really proud of you for coming back and showing up and continuing your practice. Also, I'm still reading the text and listening to Carol Howe, and I think it's helping so much. I also talked to another Course in Miracles friend last night, a very dear, beautiful friend in Hawaii, and he recommended that I also read the CE version of the course because it has all those handwritten notes of Helen's and a lot of insights that were left out of the Foundation for Inner Peace version, which I'm using when I'm doing the lessons with you. So I'm really leaning into my Course in Miracles study this year, and I hope that you take the opportunity to do the same, because I think this year is going to be very transformational for us. And you get out of it what you put in. So try to spend as much time as possible in this material, healing yourself, opening up to the Holy Spirit, opening up to Jesus's teachings, and just have the absolute best possible incarnation that you can. Thanks for being here. I'll see you tomorrow.